Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and we are not living in a very safe world anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that we are about to know is a lie. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following the wacky world of artificial intelligence, you probably realized it's getting better. And you know, it used to be like, maybe we can generate the weird toilet on the moon AI prompt. Just gunk, okay? Gunk photo data. But now we're getting to a point where scams and misinformation are going to be so rife that trying to combat it is going to be difficult. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know the tells of artificial intelligence, okay? When it comes to images, I know to check the fingers. When it comes to like AI voices, I know if for instance, inflections like this are not being made, that might not be AI friendly. Sometimes you hear Biden be a little too coherent, and then you're like, okay, the whole AI fell apart. And then, of course, you get into the point of AI videos, all right, which might be in its infancy, but could you imagine AI generating some weird scam and then sending it out to the wacky world? Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's sit down and get into the magical world of artificial intelligence scams, the part of the internet that scares me. So, of course, to get into it, one of the more lighthearted prompts were when people basically took the presidents, Biden, Trump, and Obama, and basically used their voices, very good AI voice clones of their voices, to effectively generate just meme-like videos. So here's one from Gilly Master about GT Online. We're going to listen to like 15, 20 seconds of it.
Hello? Anyone in the lobby have a mic?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Oh, I was just wondering if anyone could help me sell my cocaine business. It's full at the moment.
Sure, I can help you. Go ahead and invite me to your motorcycle club. What's your gamer tag?
Awesome, thanks. My gamer tag is X the Bidenator.
All right.
Unfortunately, we got the fucking post-op van mission. I can't stand this shit.
Game of Grand Theft Auto Online. In fact, I was just golfing with the Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick the other day. Man, the Space Force could really use a weapon like this orbital cannon.
Fuck you.
You know, it's very easy to sit down here and just say, but Muta, that's so obviously fake. Clearly, their inflections aren't all the way there. When they sit down, it literally does feel like some monotonous robot is sort of repeating lines. Now, of course, the voices match really well, but of course, obviously it sounds a bit too robotic and a bit too monotonous for somebody to catch on that it's artificial intelligence. Now, if you don't know Joe Rogan, he runs, I think, the largest podcast in the world, the Joe Rogan Experience. And when it comes to his podcast, there was one deepfake floating around where apparently Joe Rogan, they used a AI deepfake clone voice to effectively like push penis pills on Amazon. And of course, Joe Rogan, I would play that clip, but it would be taken down copyright-wise because Joe Rogan doesn't want that out there. Obviously, nobody would. And yeah, this is where it gets really, really scary, okay? This is just one scam, and I'm guaranteeing you somebody watched that Joe Rogan scam clip floating around on TikTok and probably bought dick pills thinking that they were going to get like a couple inches, okay? Absolutely shockingly dumb stuff out of here. Now, of course, you've also got ChatGPT, and in some cases, countries like Italy have just very recently banned ChatGPT on regards of data collection, not necessarily because of the scariness of the artificial intelligence yet. Now, of course, when it comes to AI like ChatGPT and Midjourney, which just recently got a new version, the new version is being used to create some pretty lifelike-ish looking photos of, for instance, Pope Francis in Balenciaga gear. Now, of course, I don't have to tell you that the old Pope Francis would not be dressing up in Balenciaga gear. I get the connection, Balenciaga with the recent child shit, and of course the Catholic Church, but obviously the Pope is not going to be carrying around drip like this. Now, when people looked at this, they were like, God damn, this is impressive. But of course, if you look at the hands, obviously the Pope ain't missing a finger, clearly. And even then, you can kind of appreciate that the lighting, the skin work, a lot of the things have started to come together pretty well. If you didn't know what to look for, somebody could eventually fall for this and be like, yeah, the Pope is dripped out. Now, of course, this I would consider as pretty harmless material, but it's getting kind of scary when you've got some of the biggest people in the tech world like Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak and like 1,100 other users who are basically calling for a 6-month ban on creating more and more AI. And of course, as much as I get these guys want to like stop the development of AI just for a little bit so we can play catch up and maybe develop counter tools for some of this misinformation that could be floating around, the genie's out of the bottle, guys, okay? You can't just stop development. You can't stop the future. It is what it is. People are just going to be developing this, as days pass. 6 months from now, the AI that we're looking at now is going to be far off in its infancy. The rate that this technology is growing at is unprecedented. You even got the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, who said that it's not inconceivable that technology could wipe out the human race. I want to listen to this one too. This is kind of scary.
Quite recently, I thought it was going to be like 20 to 50 years before we have general purpose AI. Now I think it may be 20 years or less.
Some people think it could be like 5.
I wouldn't completely rule that possibility out now. Whereas a few years ago, I would have said no way.
Are we close to the computers coming up with their own ideas for improving themselves?
Yes, we might be.
And then it could just go fast.
That's an issue, right? We have to think hard about how to control that.
Yeah. Can we?
We don't know. We haven't been there yet, but we can try.
Okay, that seems kind of concerning.
Yes.
What do you think the chances are of AI just wiping out humanity?
It's not inconceivable.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. He's talking about some Skynet shit, ladies and gentlemen. At some point you're going to have the phone book killer come back. Robots from the future coming back in time to wipe out anybody that tried to stop AI development, further pushing itself far beyond human conceptions. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it really goes back to that, Rocco's basilisk thought experiment. Like, even if you have the most benevolent artificial intelligence, at the end of the day, the final end sum is literally humans dead, artificial intelligence runs the world. If AI can sustain itself without any need for meat sacks, helping it out, it's fine. It's going to be like that. It's going to promote itself. It's going to take over the world. And we are going to be the losing species. Hopefully, we've developed some solid EMP technology by then, so we can kill this if it ever develops a mind of its own. Maybe it does have a mind of its own. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm scared. Now, of course, in other cases, you even got rappers, okay? People, again, going back to the voice technology, people like Jay-Z and Kanye might be out of a job. I mean, Kanye maybe already so. But Jay-Z specifically, or really any rapper whose voice and their vocals are necessarily the money makers. So again, listen to this one real quick. This is legitimately Jay-Z, an AI version of it. It's kind of insane.
Tell the young they can never become what they aspire to. Born in a cell with no one who can inspire you.
Your highs are never as high as those that lie to you.
Pretending that they live in the sky, lying behind you.
Pretending that they live in... Jesus, if you looked at that one. Comparing it to the 3 presidents that we heard just a few minutes ago, this is actually pretty damn close to Jay-Z rapping. Obviously, there's going to be some loss of human inflections, but again, the bridge is closing down real quick. And this probably brings up a really solid legal question too. Like, obviously, there's going to be a Jay-Z song every hour, but the other reality is like when you listen into it real closely, what is the legality going to be for people who own their voice? Are they going to be copyright striking? Or are they going to be filing DMCAs for people who are stealing their vocal patterns? Can we even copyright a voice? I'm not even sure about that. But again, this technology is advancing so fast that we're not even able to, ask these questions before another 10 have popped up. Roberto Nixon also showcased how it took 5 minutes to even generate an actual clip off of effectively just having a Kanye West trained AI data set, and just you could he recorded a verse, got a Kanye West AI data set, an AI piece to sort of clone that, to sort of sing it in Kanye's voice, and it worked relatively well. Now, of course, the voice stuff can be incredibly spooky, and of course, it's getting to a point too where even if you don't look at just influencers who are allegedly pushing a scam, an AI influencer, somebody could take, for instance, any influencer, because there's so much vocal data that's out there on the internet, hours, if not days, if not months of legitimate, proper, crisp, clean audio for them to train a model off of and then push a scam. Forget about just that. Imagine having enough data set, you only need 5-10 minutes of somebody's clean voice recording in order to do this. You could literally scam somebody else and pretend over a real call, because this is real-time voice cloning technology, that they can pretend to be somebody else and just siphon money, which is something that's already happened in 2022. $11 million was stolen through thousands of imposter phone scams. Quickly evolving in sophistication, some AI voice generating software requires just a few sentences of audio to convincingly produce speech that conveys the sound and emotional tone of a speaker's voice. So again, this is not meant for somebody, like, imagine if you get called, right? Imagine if my brother calls me. I think it's my brother, and he's like, Muda, I'm in prison, I need you to bail me out. And if it sounds convincing enough, right? Like, I'm not going to be looking into the inflections, I'm going to be in shock at that moment. I'm probably going to ask a million questions, but of course, imagine if some family member came up to you pretending that they had like a medical condition, they needed money fast, they were in serious trouble, you may be inclined to send money over to them right there and then. There's a million ways that you could scam people this way. And unfortunately, the people targeted the most seem like they're going to be older individuals that weren't born in this era, that don't understand this technology, and are the easiest to sort of confuse. My parents, for instance, are intelligent individuals, but they don't know shit about computers. You could scam them with any of this technology, and 9 times out of 10, it would work. Videos are where it gets really, really scary here too. So for instance, this is like a goofy meme, Will Smith eating spaghetti. So you can see like what happened is the AI has generated a bunch of pictures and has fused them into a video. Now, of course, if you look at the technology, you might be laughing at it because it's in its infancy, but just think about the level of sophistication just for this code. It has to generate these images and it has to make sure each frame has a cohesion with each other in terms of a theme that's being provided. So it did sorry, this is disgusting. It is interesting to see that it has generated Will Smith eating spaghetti. Now, of course, it doesn't really look like Will Smith unless you're on an alternate goddamn universe. But again, 6 months from now, this might actually look like Will Smith chowing down on a crap ton of spaghetti. Who knows? This technology that you just saw was literally Modelscope's text to video, okay? So it's another stable diffusion situation where, again, it's running off of 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So again, consumer grade GPUs, like they're running it on like an RTX 2080. But again, you can see that they've got multiple prompts like flowers turning into lava. You've got cinematic explosion. And then you've got really attractive anime girl skating by Makoto Shinkai. I assume that's the author style they wanted, and then cinematic lighting. And this one's pretty interesting. Like that looks amazing for something generated, again, purely through AI prompts. Now, of course, I went into the situation and I entered some prompts, for instance, Master Chief driving a Ferrari down a highway. Now, of course, you don't see Master Chief, but you do see the highway and you do see whatever it thinks is a Ferrari. So it got the red style going on, kind of looks like a supercar, but again, while it's in its infancy, let's just admit that it's super cool to see it now string videos together through just generating multiple multiple like photo prompts and then just stringing it. Now, of course, I also did Batman flying in space, and again, some of this stuff isn't impressive. Like, sure, that might kind of look like Batman if I'm high, and that might be space, but that's generally like one of the developments. And then, of course, I did Mutahar laughing because I figured, let's see what it's got. Now, of course, I'm sitting on this like beachy style going on. I don't know what's going on with what I'm sitting here, but it's got the race right, and of course, I'm laughing around. So, even with very little information to work off of, because I'm sure that I'm not like a, big chunk of this data set, it's impressive to see that it's able to string video together just off of 2 words that I fed it. Again, the more granular I make these prompts, the better it might generate a video. And again, a lot of this stuff can be run on its own cloud interface. So again, if you wanted to up the GPU, if you wanted to run this locally, you absolutely could. Recently, the biggest misinformation test was the Trump AI deepfakes. Now, of course, as you all know, Trump has been indicted. And because of his indictment, there's been a lot of people generating fake deepfake images of the guy being arrested or in prison. And again, all of these images are totally fake that I'm about to show you. So for instance, one of them that's really impressive is this one image of Trump running. Now, obviously, that's a fake image. You can tell it's a fake image because, you got a little bit of like weird glossiness around the face. It's kind of got these like weird Instagram beauty filters going on. While the faces and the fingers genuinely look interesting, the way that some of the badges are placed have no cohesion with other units. So again, if you know what you're looking for, you can identify a fake. Here's one where Trump is sitting in a courtroom. And again, this may look really nice because, hey, Trump's looking really sharp. These are looking like real human beings. He doesn't have 7 fingers. But again, if you look at things like, for instance, this water bottle, you can tell, that's where the fakery comes in. Text, for instance, isn't properly generated. Now again, what's wild is if you have some Photoshop knowledge, you can take an AI generation and touch things up where it may eventually become really difficult to find out if this is actually fake or real. You know, at one point, we're going to be in courtrooms and we're going to be talking about if something is real or not because it may or may not be AI generated. It's wild shit. Of course, here's one of Trump, like, working out in prison. Obviously, this is fake. Trump was not in prison. He's not wearing the jumpsuit. There's nobody taking candid photo op shots of this. But of course, if you look at things like, you know, the jumpsuit, again, text is where the issue comes into. That's not legible text. It's just garbage. But of course, fingers are better. The face looks, you know, better. It actually is matching an overall style, if anything. But again, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you look real closely at even the bars, you can see that some bars are different than the others. And yeah, it's obviously not real. But again, if you don't know what you're looking for, if you're somebody who's like 50, 60, you're a boomer, you don't understand technology, you just look at this, you might believe this image is real. And again, a lot of these projects, like that real-time voice cloning, there's tons of GitHub projects, each with varying different, qualities to them. And it takes minutes for you to download these, get them ready, and set them up on your devices, your Docker containers, and actually start working with some of these things. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, it's a dark, dark age for misinformation, and it's something you're gonna have to watch out for. Look, this AI stuff has gone on a lot, okay? It's gone on a bit too far, in my opinion. And I kind of understand if, you know, some of the biggest people in the industry want to limit its progress a little bit, but I think the genie's out of the bottle. I really do think the genie has gone out. I think at this moment, anybody that's trying to ban or restrict AI technology, you're fighting a losing battle. All I can really say is be really careful going in forward. Do not trust everything. Try to verify as much as you can. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a wild, wild world. And I am scared just 6 months down the road when you literally cannot trust anything on the internet. Hell, this video could be deep faked or AI faked or whatever. I'll leave that up for you to decide. Anyways, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.